receive all of that, absolutely. But I think it's also important to highlight that at some point in time, black people need to get and stay on code. And what Gayle and Oprah are trying to do to black men is a perfect reminder to us of why we need to stay on code, because Gayle and Oprah are only allowed to do that because we allow them to do it. And we keep giving them passes and we keep fighting with one another. Well, Oprah, she's a queen and she's a god and all this other stuff. Then you have other people saying, no, she's not. So I think this is giving us an opportunity to finally say, yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, we all we got, no matter where we are.
Exactly.
We all we got. And the buck needs to stop somewhere. And why not stop with Gayle and Oprah, who, Oprah has been known as a queen and king maker. It's just a fact. She's put a lot of people on. And if you think about it, she put a lot of white people on while trying to tear down black people, white people, and homosexuals. No shade to anybody in the gay community. And I'm not even trying to guess it was, maybe a Freudian slip of the tongue saying that Tyler Perry is gay, but he dabbles in a lot of homosexual content along with your Lee Daniels and stuff. And another thing, I think we need to give credit to Monique, because Monique did try to ring the alarm about Oprah and her crew and how they get down. But a lot of people are so busy demonizing Monique because they didn't want to go against somebody like Oprah. But Oprah can be a very wealthy woman and a very evil woman as well. I mean, those things can...
Hand in hand.
Yeah, go hand in hand. But so I think it's important that we have those discussions. Now, is it important that we dabble in like gossip and all of that? No, because that's not really what we do here. We do it behind the scenes.
Right.
But I think it's important to highlight that we need to start getting on code, right? And Marcus says, he says, and truly the point of this whole thing is that we will continue to be the joke of the media. We will still continue to be the lock away black sheep of America. We will continue to be the abuse victim. They go on, hurt it until we respond in the same way we're being treated physically and financially. Absolutely. And I think that's where it is. We're meeting behavior for behavior. I mean, I don't think, a lot of people are very afraid to say anything about Oprah, or somebody of her stature. They just are, they're thinking there's just going to be this ring on the phone and it's going to be Oprah. Hey,
see, and
I want to give you a show.
And this is exactly what we're going to hedge into when we get to my segment about this new Trumpism and how it's like you're not going to do the right thing because you're worried about your job. There's, so we're going to hedge into that. And, and that's where we're at.
I'm going to read these comments and we're going to get into it.
In America, that's where we're at right now, where people are just, even though this is wrong, I'm worried about my job.
Right. And then Kevin says, replying to Al, it's not an accident. And then Jonas says, self-love and self-defends and protects what it loves, even if it passes on. Absolutely. And that's very important to understand. And Al says, I wonder how would the world take it if Oprah kicked the butter biscuit bucket and some news anchor asked Gayle about her past. Right. I mean, what can you imagine?
Oh, Lord.
She wouldn't have it. In fact, I've seen, interviews with Gayle and Oprah. People have asked them about Harvey, and they were just kind of skirting the issue. This Me Too thing, we got to be careful. They were kind of like trying to run away from it, but they weren't going to throw mud on their friends. And Samuel says, yes, Gayle needed to be checked, but if we were to look further beyond Gayle's faults and see her needs, what would those needs be? Thinking outside of the box, and these are hashtags, and sticking sickness in black leadership. Well, I think she needs to understand that black people and are beloved, like we're all beloved, but especially, I don't want to say especially, but somebody like Kobe who had the public eye, I think what she needs is understanding, and that she needs to understand we are no longer putting up with her and her homegirls and people like them shenanigans about us. Like, who do you think you are? Like, you're just going to continue to demonize our black men and we're not going to do nothing? That's just like very cavalier. And then you booed up with all these white dudes in Hollywood. Why you throwing mud and dirt on black men? Most of them who have not been found guilty of anything. At least yet, especially with R. Kelly.
And then what's really bad is, let's face it. We talk about internet influencers and YouTube influencers and stuff like that, but Oprah is a global influencer.
So, like outer space.
Right. So if you got some people out there that look up to her, let's say other black women. What message are you sending to these other black women subliminally to say these black men ain't shit?
That's exactly what it is.
So
that's exactly what it is. And then you hug up with these white dudes, and these are like Jonelle said, they're known pedophiles and rapists and stuff. But yeah, you ain't said a peep.
Not a peep.
And if the peep you did say, somebody got to ask you about it, you got to get out of that.
Right. And these guys are alive. So if you want to ask if you really are interested in the question, you can do it right now. Right.
But they're not interested. So what Gail needs to understand is we ain't the one no more. That's what you need to understand. Kevin says, not just Africans born in America need to be muted. And then Jonelle, you say, got to allow Oprah and Gail to keep digging their ditch because they're in the same company of those two black women that danced for Trump. Diamond and Silk.
Diamond and Silk.
They no longer have their black card. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Well, does Omarosa have hers?
Who?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. Once that book didn't sell,
is she still alive? Because we ain't heard from Omarosa.
Exactly.
Since she didn't have her iPhone at all these Trump meetings and stuff.
And they won't even let her on MSNBC, CNN, or nothing. They ain't throwing her no.
Right. Well, the Butter Biscuits, your Butter Biscuits card is
done.
Revoked. And then Al says, I told Oprah, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Great saying, but a horrible way to find out you were adopted. You know what? And Tay says, I like Oprah for her book club, but I let her and Gail go. I can't support women that continue to do this to black men. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's really where we got to be with it, Enough. I've heard Oprah say not too long ago, I've got enough money. I have everything I need. I guess, I'm where I want to be. So why not be the perfect opportunity just to tear down black men and not have to suffer any consequences? She's got all the money
So is that what rich people do when they're bored?
No, that's what they do when they, as Jonelle say, these certain entities call you into the little esoteric room back here. Oprah, we have an assignment for you. Like, we know Michael Jackson has been dead for 10 years, but
we want to dig him up and you could kick him in the face.
I mean, in his documentary, he's been nominated for Oscars and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, a short documentary.
All that bullshit. And it's like, really, I didn't watch it, and nor will I ever.
And that's another thing about this country now too. There were things that I used to like watch, anything about Michael Jackson or Prince. Now these things are so bad that I don't even want to watch stuff on TV or documentaries anymore because I don't know who did the documentary and what their motive is in doing the documentary. It's just
who's to say they don't have a hit piece coming on Prince?
Right.
That's when they really gonna have to die.
With all these 80s babies like us.
Okay.
And especially, I got a friend, her name is Margot. This woman will do anything for Prince. She'll kill for this man if she had to. When I got all of Prince's music and his catalog and I sent it to her, oh man, she was just like in heaven. I mean, all the albums. She was just like, oh my God, this is it. I mean,
who needs a man now?
Yeah, she loves Prince. And a lot of women in our generation, that was their dude.
Right. And Donnie said maybe she will say something and we can twist it. And then Kevin, you also say no one can take good that is done, and it doesn't matter who did the good. No, I don't think they could take it, but I think they can taint it. They could try to throw some, as Peter would do, red paint on it, as Eddie Griffin said, put an asterisk by it, and I think they're permanently trying to make, because we haven't even heard, like, in the last couple of years when you've heard about Kobe, did the first thing to come to your mind was, the rape case?
No, it was probably his last game where he dropped 61 points and said Mamba out.
Nobody was even talking about that until recently. Now people want to start talking about it, and we know who those people are.
Sad.
And Jonelle says they're always testing our degree of love for self, because our self-love is the revolution. Absolutely.
Yeah, once we really start believing it,
it's over. And Mark says, I would even go as far as to say that this was an organized setup and Gail was the pawn, an idiot token, because America has just showed us the true white privilege and entitlement, how it works. They pocketed a lot of money, then listen to the complaints about Trump only. Just say he's white and we don't care, right? Because that's what a lot of people say. And Al says, breaking news, Oprah. I'm not going to read that. And then Donna says, most people that bring up that case don't even know the facts. There was a reason she dropped the case. I'll leave it at that. Absolutely. And then Kevin says, big if Don. So something we said. And Al says, don't worry about your accusers and haters, Gail. People accuse me of stealing other people's jokes and being a plagiarist. Their words, not mine. Pun intended, silly. Hey, Russell, what's happening? Says, Oprah and Gail have proven themselves to be enemies of the black race. Absolutely. I don't think there's any disputing that. And Al says, my love for you, Demetra, is overflowing more than a garbage can in the ghetto.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I don't even know where to go with it.
Yes. Yeah, see? You talk about black men ain't romantic. That was a poem.
Is that what it was?
Yes, that was a poem.
Thank you. And Jonelle says, Oprah is a billionaire with no power behind white regulation. The white lady showed her that when she wouldn't open her store to her, and Gail is a tag along. She has no true fame outside of Oprah, and they're both in debt and regulated by those putting them ends in their purse.
Yeah, see, and I always wondered that. What makes Gail so famous? Because she's the best friend of Oprah?
And she also talked about, remember when Oprah was trying to get into some store in France or something, the high-end purse store, and they was like, you can't come in here. She's like, I'm Oprah. And they was like,
and?
But you're black.
Yeah, you're black. That's all that matters.
I sound ridiculous. Russell says, Oprah and Gail's objective is to demonize black men and destroy black people. Yeah. Because I think sometimes with black people, like Oprah and Gail, get to that point, they don't even see themselves as black anymore.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We've made it.
Well, you know, and that's kind of funny you say that, because even in the military, like in the officer corps, of course, in the officer corps in the military, that's mostly white people, right? And because I'm in that officer corps, let's say, it's very hard to be a single black man in the military officer corps, because most black female officers are already married, and they want you to be married at a certain rank and all this other stuff. There's a big politic to it.
Right.
But you're surrounded by that group so much that, unfortunately, I'm not going to say all my brothers, but a lot of the brothers fall into the cooning, and they go with the system.
You know what my next question is?
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. And and that's how you can tell who's an outsider, who's not. Because one thing I can say, and if you guys know me, a lot of my military friends know me, they will say from the time that I was enlisted to the time that I became an officer, I pretty much had the same attitude that I have. I mean, there are certain things I couldn't do because I was in a different category, because I didn't believe I have to sell out to be where I'm at. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
You'd be up there with Ben Carson and them.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be with Ben Carson or something. I couldn't do it. I had too much, integrity to do that.
I know that's right, black man. And Al says Kobe was just as passionate helping black people as he was winning championships. Yeah, and that's the lie people try to tell. Oh, he wasn't. It's like
move in silence.
Just cut it.
Move in silence.
They said that one of the other things that he did is he donated. A couple $1 million to building the African American the museum in Washington. Mm-hmm. Was it Washington?
Yeah,
in Washington.
Wait, is it Washington? No, isn't the one in Mississippi too?
It's the one in Washington.
Oh, the one in Washington. Okay, yeah, because there's a brand new one in Alabama or Mississippi too.
They said he was a donor to that, but then philanthropy works that way. When you do it the right way,
they only donate because it's a tax write-off.
Well, I mean, that's something that's probably true.
Yeah.
But he could have donated that money anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't have to be the black
That's what I'm saying. Why are you going to dog the man because he's trying to get a tax write-off? Okay, they're going to take the money from him anyway.
Right. He could have did it like Dr. Dre and gave $70 million to USC.
Got his daughter in.
Right. And Joel says, we as black people got to continue to check self-hate when we see it and beat at odds against all. No matter the complexion, against our elevation, positive black images, positive black people, and our self-love. Al's big word of the day, Oprah and Gail suffer from pistanthropophobia, which is fear of trusting due to bad past relationships. Wow. I looked that one up. And Donna says Gail had her own opinion going into that interview with Lisa, and that was apparent. Mm-hmm. Yep. You also say it's a new movement, the BMAS. And what is that? And you say, Russell, if Oprah and Gail stop demonizing black men, they will lose everything they have, and they both know that that's the deal. I agree with you on that. And Jonelle says, try to get through these comments so we get
go.
We can't start with surviving the slave ship. Why we got the white names, all the rape by whites on the darker nations from 1555 to present day that will still surviving as black nations as it still continues today, because miseducation is rape that has left us black in the hands of our white predators. Since Gail and Oprah wants to deal with rape and make some videos, documentations, let's deal with that and ask them Zionist white crackers if they want to atone and give the darker nations reparations. No, they don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that.
And Al says, listen to me carefully, Gail. Your greatest teacher is your last mistake.
Wow.
Hopefully she's listening. And Jonelle says, we still are here surviving European Zionists own America rapes of us as a black nation. Yes. Mm-hmm. And Russell says, why do you think Gail waited until Kobe was dead before she attacked him? Kobe probably knew all of their secrets. Could have been. I think she was told to do it. Because everybody else, all of her comrades in the game have fallen to suspensions and getting fired. Mm-hmm. It's like, put the black woman up. That'll be more palatable to black people.
Yes.
Woo! They're snatching the wig to this moment. And Donna says, love granted over 200, what do you think meant Kobe? Granted over 200 wishes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and did so with no publicity. Other celebrities would have had their phones going on IG. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what I heard too. A lot of it people didn't even know. And then Al says, I told my son, when you need the strength and support, turn to me. When you need love, turn to your mom. When you need understanding, turn to your grandma. Turn to her. Just don't look at her. I will not read that about your mama.
Oh, goodness.
And then Marcus says, I think the inside black community that surrounds Oprah has paid close attention, but the outside black community has not heard quite enough attention. I think paid quite enough attention, which meant to the fact that Oprah sat down with Michael Jackson's mother and faked love upon her and his children as well as his family in their entirety, only to be comfortable. We're trying to be so-called queen that took down the king in massive failure. Yes. Yeah. And lastly, Samuel says, yes, Donovan, they did recently build a civil rights museum in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, that was
and I know your
my brother
gone.
Went there. He's gone there. So
anyway, we're going to transition to Donovan's segment.
But again, this is a topic, so you guys, this is free for a fly day.
So keep talking.
So just keep talking how you want to do. But I want to talk about, is Trumpism the new norm? Now, as you guys have heard, even though he's guilty, the Republican faction said, hey.
So break it on down. What happened?
Okay, basically what happened this week was Trump was acquitted or blindly let go because you can't have a trial without witnesses and documentation of, evidence. You can't have a trial. But according to white people, I guess you can.
This sounds like some To Kill a Mockingbird shit.
Yeah. But according to white people, I guess, when it's white, I guess you can.
Right.
So he was acquitted, and the only dissenting Republican was Mitt Romney.
Oh, he getting it.
And I love when rich white people start knifing each other. That's such a beautiful thing to see that. So, but basically, I'm a political junkie, and you guys know. And what was happening was this. My point is, when I put something up on the thing, it's not because I'm right or whatever. It's just a question of yes or no, right or wrong. Now, Lamar Alexander, who's retiring, he gets up on national TV and he says, yeah, they proved their case. Susan Collins, yep, they proved their case. Mark Rubio, yeah, they proved it. But we're not going to vote to punish him. Now, just because you don't go to jail doesn't mean you didn't do the crime.
Right.
And it's just funny that when white people do it, like you said about OJ. Oh, but he did it. OJ did it.
He was found not guilty.
He was found not guilty.
For that.
So my point is, yeah, Trump got away with it, whatever, and that's the politics of it. But don't sit there and tell me he didn't do it. Everybody says he's done it. They saw evidence that we didn't even see. And I don't understand why my Trumpster friends and people that are Trumpsters, here are the facts. We're showing you the facts. And you're still arguing what your eyes are seeing. So my thing is, I really can understand now the rise of Hitler.
But we talked about this at least 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing to me.
At least 2 years ago, we talked about this.
And then Trump gets up there yesterday explaining how simple it was and what the situation was. Well, why didn't you testify if it was that simple? If that's the explanation.
Did you really want to hear him say it was very, 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 very fantastically
done.
Unfair?
Fantastically unfair, and it was a perfect call. Perfect call. Why didn't you testify if it's that simple? If you're innocent, why won't you let people testify? Why won't you release documents? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I could care less because I'm at this level, but it's just amazing how they think one way when it's their person, but if it's anybody else, oh yeah, he's guilty. Oh yeah.
Can I ask you a revolutionary question?
Yes, ask me a revolutionary question.
Are you shocked?
No, I'm not shocked at all. I mean, knowing the people that I deal with, when you're in the military, believe it or not, you have a lot of Southern people in there. And Southern people, and I know this is stereotypical, but this is my experience.
Are you from the South?
I'm from the South, but I'm talking about these white Confederate killers. They are some of your best fighters in the military because these guys are, they're raised in the woods. They're raised to shoot. They're raised to be violent. They're just raised that way. And there's a lot of them in the military, okay? The military is very, very, very right-winged. So I'm not surprised at all. But the thing is, like I said, my time in the military, I fundamentally have not changed my attitude. I'm not going to coon for anybody. I'm going to be who I am. Probably why I didn't get promoted as much as I could have been, but neither here nor there. These people, it's like they live in an alternate reality because this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. And I said this on my page yesterday. I can't wait till a Democratic president gets into office and he starts doing the shenanigans that this guy has done.
Well, it'll be a different outcome. Yeah,
and that's because the Democrats, they're so weak. They are so weak, which goes to my theory. These parties, it's a theater game. We're going to play the good cop. You're going to play the bad cop. We're going to have everybody fighting against each other. And then, while they're distracted, nothing's getting done for the American people. Nothing.
And how often do you see me even talk about Trump or any of that on my page?
Zero.
It's rare. It's very, you know why?
Very, very
and I'm not saying I don't care and I don't want to be involved. It's just like, because I know how it works. I know us, and I don't want to say complaining because I don't think it's complaining. I think people have a right to be upset. We got a tyrant in the White House, and his buddies are amening what he's doing. So I think people have a legitimate right to be upset. But I think at this point in the juncture, right now, there's nothing we can do about it. Now, I think more in the terms of black people first.
Right.
Now, when I say that, I mean, not saying that we don't have a right to the democratic process. We do. But in the meantime, if we really think about it, no matter who sits in that seat in the Oval Office, black people are still effed.
Yeah.
We are still effed. And I'm going to get into that on Sunday. I have a great topic for on Sunday. So I'll get into that a little bit more. But black people are still screwed no matter who sits in the Oval Office until black people start getting on code. We start unifying. We start doing for us first. We need to get to the point as black people in America to where they say, oh, well, the election is coming. Oh, yeah? Okay, that's nice. Because that means that we got all of our piston firing. We have our economy booming without having to depend on this. Now, again,
we're going to be like the Asians.
Yeah. I'm not saying reparations is not important because it is. It's going to help us close the wealth gap significantly.
12 years and counting.
And it will take us 232 years to catch up to that of white people at the rate we're going, which is never for us, okay? So until then, we need to get on the same page to the point we get to the point and say, well, fuck Trump. Excuse my French.
Right.
I mean, I know we say it now, but I'm saying say it and mean it to where it's not that we're being harmed by whoever's in the White House. We need to get our stuff together.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't talk about it much, because I'm like, I knew he wasn't going to get impeached. That's a waste of everybody's money to even go through that. And to your
Nothing
point,
got done.
The Democrats knew what they were doing. As you say, it's kabuki theater. We're going to play the role. We're going to act like we're mad. Then we're going to, just take the American
Nancy's
people.
going to get up and, if you look at it, it's like it's just theater.
It's theater. And to the point of a lot of people who say this, but while they're going through this impeachment process that took God knows how long to get to the point we already knew it was going to have to. What did we really miss?
There was no talking on the ACA. All these things did not get done.
Did you guys know that a doctor in China who died, who was probably potentially murdered, tried to sound the alarm about this coronavirus and that, hey, this thing is real, and he was sanctioned and arrested and stuff before he died.
And ask yourself this. What government official president, vice president, whoever, CDC, whatever, is going to authorize a contagious disease to fly into the United States willingly, right in front of my door here.
And it's not just this base, it's a bunch of bases. Yeah. They're now starting to fly these airplanes into all these Air Force bases and stuff. And so, like, I'm sick. I don't have the coronavirus.
Right. And here's the thing about here's the thing about the coronavirus. It isn't a sexually transmitted disease. It's airborne.
It's airborne. Correct. So what did we miss while we are focused on Trump getting ready to get acquitted? Right. We knew he was going to get acquitted even before they even impeached the dude.
Right.
We knew that.
And then you ask yourself this: if he's such a monumental threat to national security and like that, why did you approve his funding for the wall? Why did you approve the bill? Any bill
we get caught up into that. We get caught up into the semantics of all that's going on that we really have no control of. But, I mean, how many times people are even talking about the election that's really, at this point, 9 months away?
Yeah. But let me ask you that, though. If a person is such a threat to you, if he's such a threat and you are so concerned about this man and a bill comes down, why aren't you denying that bill?
Right.
You said this man's a threat.
Right.
Why aren't you denying this bill? Why aren't you arresting this man to be such a
And to that point, Donovan, for those of you guys who own stocks, do you know the correlation between the coronavirus and the stocks? Do you guys realize that it is slated or stated or thought, or however you want to say it, that the coronavirus is going to help tank the stock market? Yeah. Because there's a lot of things that can't even move now due to what do you call it? These, a lot of
logistics.
The logistics. A lot of things are shut down because we get a lot of stuff from China. The markets are tied together. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of money, dude. So we're distracted from the things that are really going to affect us.
Yeah, I'm going to show you how distracted we are. This man got up there and at the State of the Union and said nothing but lies that could be verified. Do you know, under Jimmy Carter, the unemployment rate was 5%.
Yeah.
That's Jimmy Carter. This man...
considered one of the worst presidents.
Worst president. There was a recession, remember? No, there was inflation. Hyperinflation was going on. We're at 3% thing, and he keeps talking about, I inherited a mess.
No, you didn't.
Obama was shedding jobs. Right. And in 8 years, he got it to 5%. It went from 10, 12% to 5%. The national thing. We know blacks is way more than that. Right. But he got it to 5% of the national average. This guy's talking about he inherited a mess. Then, I couldn't even believe the lies that was going on. It was just, this is just unbelievable.
Were you really shocked, though? That's all he does is lie.
Right. But I go to my friends and I say, well, oh no, there's nothing that he said that was untrue.
What Trump did the other day was really a campaign speech.
Oh, when he brought that little black girl out?
All of it was a campaign speech. You might as well have been on the campaign trail. That's all that was. It was a campaign speech. And so I think we as Americans, especially black people, need to really just get wise and say this is all bullshit. Right. But, I don't say all of it like it doesn't matter, but in the larger scheme of things, to black people, it is.
Yes. And this is why I say, is Trumpism the new norm? Yes, it is. Because when you're showing people facts and truth, and they don't want to accept it, get ready. It's going to be a showdown.
You're not going to change their minds.
Right. This is going to be a showdown. Because this is moving forward. Alternate reality is now the new norm.
Well, I think more than anything, and I think you're right, but I think also what we need to understand is, like black people, we're out of time, and
12 years.
The walls are closing in on us, and Trump has really emboldened a lot of people. Yeah. And we are, whether we realize it or not, are in danger. Like, we think Oprah and
Gail... Will Robinson.
We think Oprah and Gail, what they're doing, it's bad. But it's nothing compared to what's really going to happen to us if we don't get our stuff together ASAP.
Well, where are black leaders? Where is the congressional black talkers? These people that are supposed to represent it. Now, I put a meme up on my page about Martin Luther King and Martin Luther King Day. Mm-hmm. And I had said that should be a national audit day to our black representatives in Congress to look at their records and hold them accountable to what they're doing for us. I don't want to hear about dreamers. I don't want to hear about the Asians. I don't want to hear about the Arabs. What is your record to blacks. And if you go to John Lewis's, and we understand that John Lewis has cancer, but that's still no excuse for not doing anything for your people. Prayers are with you, but
right.
You got a job to do. Look at their record. Maxine Waters, look at their record. Barbara Lee, look at the record. That's what we should be doing on Martin Luther King Day and holding these people accountable. Not just, it doesn't have to just be black representatives. Any representative.
Anybody that you will vote for.
Yes. Any representative. We should look at their records and say, okay, it's been a year. What did you do?
Not a damn thing.
No, but and don't get me wrong. We're having a Martin Luther King parade, Black History Parade, and we're doing all that. That's great. But we should also do an audit for our black leaders.
Right. And another thing I would say too, I don't think you guys really realize the power that black people have. Because it's not been all negative as far as this whole little election campaign season.
Oh, we're shaking the bushes.
Where's Joe Biden?
Number 4 in Iowa.
Joe Biden, who came out the gate like Kamala. So, and that kind of gives me a lot of hope, too, because we got rid of Kamala. Cory Booker's gone. And Biden was supposed to be the front runner. Like, he's guaranteed black people's votes.
He's waiting for South Carolina to get that bump in South Carolina. People are exposing him.
He might not get because he's been exposed.
Yeah, he's been exposed.
But now we're seeing the power that black people actually have.
Enthusiastic.
When we get on the same page and we start really... See, it's power in us speaking, and getting the truth out.
Yes, and this is what I keep telling people, and I tell this to Demetra all the time. A pawn in chess is a very powerful piece if it's moved intelligently. Stay on code.
Right, stay on code.
Have your plan.
Do your job.
It could work.
Right.
That pawn is very powerful.
So, Joe Biden is sinking,
rapidly.
Very fast.
He's not raising any money.
Right.
I mean, they're like...
People are giving him a second look instead of that just, I'm going to vote for him because that was Obama's wingman.
Exactly.
Right? And then Jonelle says, it wasn't called for to bring up rape allegations. They did the same to Tyson. Remember Tyson wanted to whoop that black reporter?
Yeah, I remember that.
I might go home and watch that just to tap into my inner gangster.
Yeah. Didn't he sell out to, there wasn't a settlement with Desiree Washington, or there wasn't a settlement?
He went to jail.
Well, I know he went to jail, but
I'm sure he paid her something punitive, but he went to jail. Kevin says, I'm out, y'all.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, and then Al says, the teleprompter is saying, D and Donovan sing the theme song and make that noise to the show.
As we go out. We still got another 12 minutes.
That stupid Roy Orbison.
All right. Pretty woman.
Lord have mercy. And he's 2 minutes. Oops. And Marcus says, when it comes to this white America and this white government and these white laws, I think just like Dr. King didn't know the severity of what he was dealing with. Every day when we don't know the severity of who we're dealing with, when we try to use our votes and our power as so-called Americans, we have to realize that there will never be any real opportunity for success across the board. There will only be hardworking tokens. Did they try to parade back in front of us? The same look, they made it. Okay, and then, Jonelle, you say...
Trump wasn't. Oops. We knew Trump wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah. You say, we knew Trump wasn't going anywhere. Everybody in Congress, or shall I say majority, is Zionist pocket in a show. That presidential apprentice, no experience necessary. He got 2020 on lock, and this government don't care about facts, etc. They care about revenue, shekels. Everything else is for manipulation and entertainment. All things is being moved for shekels. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's an important point. Brace yourselves for 2020 because this man very well may be the president again. So with that being said, what are we going to do? We're going to cry for another 4 years, or are we going to organize and do what we need to do?
And you got to think about this. If he's going to be the president for the next 4 years, that brings us down to 8 years to zero.
Right.
It ain't like this man's going to go out of his way to do for us.
Well, he sent a little black girl to school.
Yeah.
He gave her a scholarship somewhere, and then had a little black boy and his great granddaddy up there, and as he gave
the
Rush Limbaugh
the mental freedom, the highest civilian thing you can give. Yeah.
Circus.
Racist.
And Russell says, why wasn't Bush impeached for lying to start a war with Iraq that resulted in millions of innocent people being killed?
Because the ruling class. Do you know that very same President Bush that you're talking about? Notice he doesn't leave the United States. You want to know why? Because the world court will hem him up. he stays within the realm of the United States because he's wanted as a war criminal.
As he should be.
Right.
And Jonelle says both of these parties is moved by shekels. The nation is being moved as Germany was being supplanted by the Zionist right. We as black people must have our own government, black sovereignty, everything. God bless the child that's got his own. White affairs is not worry about the black people at all in truth, except to extract and manipulate us and keep us in the illusion of inclusion, miseducation, all manner of ignorance and degradation.
Yep. Everybody can tell you about Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill and Cardi B. We can tell you all about that stuff. And
so sad. It really is. And Al says, here's the new intro to the Friday show. Say this to the people. Did you do what you like? Did you do it or did you do it?
Till you said do it. Do it. Do it till you're satisfied, whatever it is. Do it! Jam, that's the jam. BT Express, by the way. I know my music.
Marcus says, we missed the fact that the African governments came together in unison to send a clear message to the United States and the rest of the world, and Africa is not for sale. Thank God. Mm-hmm. As if it is owned by any other continent other than Africa. And President Uhuru, I know, right? After making that statement, is now invited to the White House as of yesterday to discuss the future of white people in Africa. But there's all that, and the other part that was it Nigeria. There's a travel ban. They can't come over here.
Yeah. They restricted that.
Like you don't want
and
to.
And they're restricting Cuba again.
Right.
After all that work,
right.
You're going to restrict Cuba again.
Right. Still holding on to old grudges. Donna says, my friend works for a medical office and she normally orders masks by the case for $7. This weekend, the case was $43.
Hey, capitalism.
Yeah, I saw where they're selling out. I saw a picture of an Asian man. He had a half of a bra.
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta
do. A bra cup as a mask.
Now think about this. We're here in California. I'm a black man. I'm walking around with a mask on my face. Come on now.
Shit, I'm about to.
But you're a woman. But I'm saying as a man.
Right.
Man.
The SWAT team will be on your ass.
Exactly. Hey, T'Challa.
Russell says, why wasn't Obama impeached for killing more Africans than any president in history with his drone attacks that were only 10% accurate? My point is that Trump's impeachment was a big distraction for more than anything else. Ask yourself, what is this anti-Trump propaganda really about? Because I've never seen white people attack another white person the way the media and so-called liberals attack Trump. What's really going on?
Well, what's going on is Trump has upset the apple cart. That's why Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party, because, he isn't going by the rules that they've set up and have been in place for such a long time. He's kind of upsetting that, speaking his mind, going outside of the norms of military protocol, things like that, which exposes them. And that's, I think, one of the biggest problems is that's why they just hate him so much, because he's not a politician. He's a clown. Yeah.
There you go.
He's a clown.
Right. And just so I think accidentally got in there.
Right.
Exactly. Can you imagine the look on his face when they said he won? He's like,
oh, yeah. No. Remember that look he had when he was sitting next to Obama?
Yeah.
He was freaked out. Yeah, he was freaked out.
I really won. And Donna says, diseases and war stimulate the stock market. Yeah.
Yes.
But I guess with this one, they're saying the adverse the opposite may be true for the stock market, because there's a lot of stuff that's coming to a standstill. A lot of businesses, and they said especially a lot of the mom and pop businesses, they're smaller businesses, they're hurting because they
can't get the goods.
Yeah, they rely on a lot of those goods from overseas, and this disease is it's pretty bad.
And think about this.
It's pretty bad.
Let's say you are one of the few black mom and pop stores that are left. Is this a way to squeeze you out?
Absolutely. See, that's what I'm saying. What are we missing? Mm-hmm. And Marcus says the national. We also missed the fact that EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters, under the guidance of Julius Malema, is reaching out to the entire diaspora. Yeah. I did see that, to join and build branches of the BFF, international and globally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did see that. I think we just need to get the word out. We need to start talking about Africa more, too.
Yes, absolutely.
The people just need to know that.
People need to know Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill are beefing and all that other stuff.
Because when I saw that he put the call out, he being Julius Malema, I thought, God, I hope they're protecting him with everything they have. Because we know what happened to every black leader who tried to do exactly what he's doing.
Yes, absolutely. But real quick, your daughter has obfuscated.
She's gone.
Gone.
Panama.
What is she doing down in Panama?
Nothing. Having a good time.
Having a good time.
Living her best life.
Living her best life.
Yes.
Is she coming back anytime soon?
Tomorrow. I think.
We think.
Because
I got a text message that said, sell my stuff. Don't worry about the show. Forget it. I'm done.
She's having a good time, I must say. And Marcus says, and we cannot keep putting our faith and hope in a system, in a government that puts more value on the American lie than the American truth on every level. Absolutely. Yeah. We need to start going off and worrying about our own stuff. Because nobody's going to do that for us but us.
Have you guys ever wondered?
And Jonelle wants you to do the robot again.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Have you guys ever wondered, why is it that we give so much money in aid to all of these countries? You want to know why? Because we're bribing them. We're
setting them up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, this is our tax dollars. Who's authorizing that?
I mean, when I was going to the studio, because we were actually at the other studio but it's a long story.
Yeah, long story. But
we met this interesting black lady, by the way. I saw a dude literally lying on the corner where you get ready to cross the street.
I saw the guy. Yeah, you know, and it's really sad.
But we're sending aid to other countries.
It's really sad because here, especially here in California, you have so many people with a foot in their ass. They've given up. There's no hope here.
Right.
There really isn't.
We had like 3 or 4 fires by. Did you see them yesterday?
Yeah,
by my house.
I did.
Because your homeless people are just starting fires, maybe trying to cook some food or something. But I'm like,
and you know,
getting kind of close there.
Yeah, and you know, and for those that are watching overseas, don't believe the hype. America isn't what you're seeing on TV. When you get down to ground zero, people are suffering here.
Yeah,
really bad.
And Russell said, did you guys know that Obama signed a bill giving the government authority to implant tracking chips in the United States citizens without their permission? Yes, they admitted to doing it because there was this big thing whether they were doing it, whether they weren't. Yeah. And the Obama administration did admit they said that they have the ability. This is what they said. They have the ability to do it. Now, they said they weren't doing it. And I remember he says, we're not interested in listening to, just any old Joe Schmo's conversation. They have it, obviously for their own reasons that we really don't know. We know, but we don't know. But so they have admitted that, we've done that to people.
Yes, absolutely. Now, why are you guys surprised? Obama was not put there to be a person of moral compass. He was put there to put the blame on the economy on a black man and, fix it, just like Harold Washington in Chicago when the dailies ran that thing into the ground. A black man came and fixed it. Who's the guy that was smoking the crack in D.C.?
Marion
Barry, same thing. No, but the point is, when these major cities, Tom Bradley here in L.A. in the 70s, they fixed the problem and the city makes a comeback, then they want to come back and destroy it. So when Obama was brought in, he was brought in to be the blame.
But where is he sitting now?
Right, he's chilling now.
Like balling.
Yeah, he's balling really good, and I'm happy for him. But
I'm sure that was sort of the payoff as well. You know?
As a citizen, though, you got to understand, he was not put in there to solve problems. He was put in there to be the blame.
And Pam, what's happening? Says, I'm so tired of listening to Trump. I do not watch the State of the Union. I did not listen to what he had to say yesterday. And me either.
It was nothing but lies. It was nothing but lies that you can verify. Just Google it.
Right.
It was crazy.
And Russell says, alternative facts have always been the norm in American politics and the media. Wake up, people. No, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, to be so open about it now.
Right.
It's just insane.
And then Jonelle says,
Get a minute.
We as black people truly lost in space following European Zionists own American lives and dreams. We must do for self and build our own reality as black people. A black nation is separation or else come out of her, my people. Yes, we do need to separate, whether people realize it or not. And for you guys on the podcast, we are going to be back here on Sunday with a very good topic. So please join us at 3 p.m. Pacific time. We would love to have you here. Thank you so much. And Samuel, you say, I think the best move for us is to come out of this white supremacist Negro making education that a few of us become defective to the programming, say 5% who are ready to be a part of the poor righteous teachers, the 5%ers, of the earth. We must up the movement to educate our own based in African principles of learning. We must separate. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it is better to teach separation than prayer. No, absolutely. Otherwise, if you stay with him, you're going to have to keep praying.
Right.
You know? So I can agree with that. And yes, we need to educate our own, teach our own what we need to know